So I'm going to reconstruct my 20 PR and tied PB, third 20 I've ever gotten. 20 FMC single. I got this at Cambridge Holiday FMC 2022 yesterday. And yeah, it was the last solve of my 25-33 PR mean, which I also got in finals. So I have two 25-33 means. I'll talk a bit more about that at the end of the video. But anyways, so here's the scramble. This is the normal. And we have 6 bad edges. 3 on the back right here, 1 here, here, and here. So what I did, there are a bunch of ways to do EO from here. But if you do a B and then trace the edges, you have this one here, one there, and then one there and there, one there and there. So you have 3 like here and 1 here, so that's pretty good. After switching, you see the 3 like that. So there are a bunch of ways to do this, but what I ended up having at the end was B2 UB, and that gives you EO in 4 moves. So then right here, it's a pretty good looking EO. You can actually get into DL into dr minus a corner, but just from here, if you do an L, that is dr minus 2e 3c, which is really good. You can usually get pretty short DRs from here. So then after switching, right here, you have this, so then B. And I actually was checking this for a while, and I only at the end realized that I could do a B2, and it's actually the same length. So then L2, R prime, U prime, R gets you DR, and this is actually 3 quarter turn corners. So you have 1, 2, 3, and that's pretty good. So that's pretty good corners. So from here I switched. In here, if you do a Z or Z prime, you can see you have 2 bad corners here and 2 bad edges here. So if you do an R2U, you get this case where you've got 2 bad edges and 4 bad corners. So this is generally pretty good. And then from here, if you do B2 L2, it's set up to this case. And then D F2 D prime gets you to HDR. And then this is a really simple finish. It's just F2, B2, D2, B2, R2. And what happens is this R2 cancels with an R from the regular, and that's a 20. So let's talk about this a little bit. So here, this is where I had this EO. I ignore that. And I checked this, which was 5 quarter turns, 5 quarter turns. So I just kind of had that ignored, and I ended up getting like an E in 26 and nothing much else. So I decided to come back up here near the end, and I found that, so I originally had this on the regular, but then I realized I forgot to check where you start the regular with a B2. And I checked that, and I found that you could get this. So I rewrote everything down here to make it a little easier, because I found this with like 15 minutes left. And then, yeah, so then 9, so 9 move DR. And then I was checking some HDR stuff, so HDR stuff on the regular. This is F2D and then switch. And you have like, that's a 15 move HDR, 16 move, plus 8. I found that was plus 8, so 24 to E-slice. So I already had this, and I had like 10 minutes left. So then I decided to check the inverse, and I found this 16 move one. And I found another 5 moves to get to E-slice. So then what I did was I just checked, instead of UL to U prime, I checked DF to D prime, and that actually ended up solving the E-slice. So yeah, so I found this was like, I found the DR with like 15 minutes left, and then I found the solution with like 5 minutes left, and I checked it a bunch. And yeah, the other 2 solves were like a 26, which was I think it was like 22 TD slice. I can't remember. But that was like mediocre, pretty good, not bad. It wasn't a DNF, which is kind of what I was going for, not DNFing. And then the 30 was block build, 19 to DR, and then another 5 moves to 3 corners, and then 8 - 2, so not the greatest. Finals, finals was okay. The last Scramble was really good, and I did check some block building stuff, but I couldn't really find much, so my solve was just standard DR 25 move solution, but AJ actually found a 19, which AJ found this 20, so I was 20th in the world, but then the next round, well, AJ had a 20 before the competition, but anyways, I was 20th in the world when I got this, and then AJ got a 19 in finals on the last really good Scramble, and bumped me down to 21st, so I was 20th for a round. Anyways, so that's my 20 move reconstruction. Maybe I can eventually get sub 20. I've never gotten a sub 20 before. Maybe I'll get one at home. Maybe I'll get one for the first time in competition. But my overall PB is in competition. I've got 3 20s. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so that's the reconstruction, and yeah.